That's why Ruto is pushing so hard to control the airport, control the health care, to control mambo na stima, because anajua hapo ndio pesa mingi ya Wakenya iko, and through that he can buy anyone. Sahi mumeona ODM is pushing kuleta Junet awe kwa interior CS, and my fellow Kenyans, I can tell you, mimi nikiangalianga Junet, it will be the worst nightmare kumwona mingia interior CS. If it happens, wamekubaliana. Ule jamaa mimi nikimpima ni mnyama tu. But I hope that we rise up and fight for what belongs to us as Kenyans. Kitu ingine, please, kama una ID, try your best. Kama una, tusiseme like wamekazia kupata ID, just go and apply. Let it take forever. At least be in a position like I applied, ninaingoja. If you have that ID, end up kwenu. Kuna IDC hapo. Like nimetembea huku penye niko Kisii, Bonchari. I saw the offices are open. So if you want to register, you can do it. Tusiangalie huko juu sana. Let's arm ourselves. As we keep on pushing like you jamaa toke, let's also have a plan B. Ruto kuiba kura is because hiyo margin inakuanga kidogo sana. That's why I got very comfortable. Ruto is so comfortable that in 2027 hana competitor. The only competition yenye Ruto anaogopa 2027 is the young generation. Like vijana wakiamua tu wachizi, they can back anybody to the bone. Like if shit happens, it happens. So wenzangu, kitu nasema, let's not give up. Hizi spaces tusizidharau. Keep on hosting. Mi najua kuna mtu atasikiza kitu tunasema hapa on like this thing makes sense. I know every day we have new people joining spaces na wanataka kusikia watu tunasema nini. And whenever you have a chance, venye naona mabonga anafanya, ambia watu kweli. You know, sometimes I ask myself, how many of us in this space wanaweza simama ground waambie watu why we are fighting? How many? Kama ujui ni nini inaendelea, unasikianga tu stop Adan, you right, Ruto must go, you right. Ruto must go, ambia watu wa kwenyu mbona unataka Ruto aende. Kuna mtu tu anasema nyinyi ni watoto, amejui kitu wanafanya. Tell them the health system is screwed up. Waambie watu wenye wameajiriwa sahi hawana pesa. Niliona mtu ameandika 300,000 wanakukata 45k. Like tunaibiwa tu, yani ukiona, and there's nothing we can do. Unfortunately, Ruto anajua hao wabweke online yaishe, tukifika elections watabweka, they won't vote. Can we change that narrative? Wajue watu wanabweka and then we surprise them. You know, like that 25th, it was a surprise yenye hakuna mtu mwenye alikuwa ametarajia. Not even Ruto, not even Raila angemuadvise. So we will keep on injecting where we can. We will keep doing the right thing. Ukiona you can support, hata kama ni hiyo mambo imesemekana ya data, let's do it. And if there is a way tunaweza pata njia ya kuwa na pesa, and then we account for it. Hata mimi I was like, huwezi niambia fundi nipatie 100 but usiniulize nimeitumia aje. Like, what is that? Hata kama ndakupatia 10 bob, niambie nilienda nikakunywa chai ya 10 yakaisha, is better. Na unionyeshe nilienda nikanunua huko. You know, the only thing that lacks in Kenya, mwaso kwetu vijana, is trust. And the moment you lose it, that's all. Hakuna siku watu watakutrust. I don't think Morala knew hata it will last even like 2 months na amepotea. And hii kitu ndio tuko naambiana, please youth, let's not react na emotions. Yani kitu inakuja tu tunabebwa. For instance, sikuwahi furahia kitu niliona kiapa ni mambo na Rigiji wanapigana na Ruto. Nimeanza kwenda Mount Kenya, ninashangaa like mikutano imejaa na ni youth. Kidogo online tumeanza kusympathize na yeye. And I can tell you guys, hii masiku ya impeachment ingehappen like we voting Rigijanga kwa president. Reason, sisi ni wajinga. Watu wanajua enda huko lia. That's the tactic yenye Ruto alitumianga. Ruto anaingia hadi analia. Aki hatu wana wanasema, aki wamemsumbua, utampanguza tu machozi. I was saying here, God forbid, we might face a situation in 2027. Tumepewa option ya Ruto na Gachagua. Whom will you vote? You vote hao watu wawili wote ni maumbwa to forgive my choice of word. There is none mwenye ako na interest za Wakenya hapo. Ruto saa hii akatoka Rigiji akaingia, atakuwa tu ameingia asumbuane na wengine, handshake tena ya Raila ingie. Because I can tell you, Raila hatawahi toka kwa Kenyan politics. And whomever thinks that Raila anaenda AUC, forget about it. We are the main investment ya huyu mzee. Yeye ameenda huko, wafanye madili zao, atapewa kama ni 50 billion, aweka kwa mfuko na anarudi. Atashindwa. Because wanajua Raila akishindwa, we will spend like 3 months tukiimba sasa ameenda Bondo, whatever happens, fuck it, tusiendane nayo. Rigiji hata akitupwa court, forget about him. Rigiji ndio alikuwa anaambia watu kama mbunge wenu walivote finance bill hamtaona maendeleo. Wameanza kupigana sasa, sisi ndio wao, mbona wanasumbua mwingine? That guy is old, hata hafai kuwa kwa serikali. Please wake up. Na kama unapenda siasa and then you want to vie, please do it. Na ukiona a youth is vying, please support them. Kwa sababu tusidanganyane eti pesa itatumika Kenya. That's where we want to lie to ourselves. Like we can, even if tutafanya civic education yache. Let me remind you guys, money will take the center stage in 2027. When you mwenzetu wamesema kutoka ng'ambo, if there is a way, kama let me say kama ni Kisi, we want a youth, let's mobilize. Tuambiane how much do we want? Watu wanaiba pesa mingi. Hatuwezi waweza, but tukiamua like huyo jamaa ameiba 100 million, let's raise even 10 million. At least tuseme Fabish ameenda mahali ku campaign, ule akitoa 500 acha yeye pia atoe 50. So that ukiingia kwa hiyo cheo, show people leadership. Nitaongeza baadaye juu nimeona wengine wanataka kuongea. Thanks.
Fabish. Wajiro.
Yeah.
Yes, my friend Fabish.
Nani Ras umekuja?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sawa, relax. Ngoja tumpatie DK and then you can continue Liaison then Chisabari. Okay. Acha tusikie DK.
Niaje Fabish?
Poa sana vipi?
Goja, hata usicheke kwanza goja. Before I go on, may I request Ohando to mute his mic? His mic has a bit of feedback.
Oh yeah, Isaac. I don't know.
Isaac.
Alikuwa anatembea maybe hata aski Isaac.
Labda hata aski.
Wacha nimdrop alafu atarudi baadaye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fabish, I think you can drop me Fabish.
No, just mute the mic. Just mute the mic.
Contribute.
Just mute.
Just mute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to leave because you actually talked about something that I'll pick on as my first point. Hata haikuwa part of submission yangu, but kuna kitu fulani aweza kumiongelea nitaitaja. Fabish. Today I have intentionally stayed away from your speaker panel because you and I go way back on these spaces. One thing we've always...
Is someone speaking? I can't hear anyone. It's just my side.
I'm speaking and I hope anyone else...
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, Fundi.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't... Oh, okay. Let me drop you, Isaac, then you can come back.
I hope everyone else on the speaker panel and the listeners panel can hear.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I also realized how rude I am. I just walked in. Yes, Chisabari, someone is speaking. I think a couple of people cannot hear, but I saw Lyson 100%. All right, I'll just go on for those who are hearing me. My name is DK Gift. I'm sorry for being rude, not starting with my name. Good evening to every one of you, and I hope you're very well. I came in ranting immediately and telling Fabish that not with bad intention, and this is also because Rasdi asked me in the comment section, I was not avoiding the speaker panel for any reason besides what you and I, Fabish, have ever promised each other in other spaces we've been in, that we will never turn a space that we are having into a hoted podcast, because sometimes some of us venye tunajuana, we are very passionate about what it is we want to achieve here, whether we agree on the same opinions or not. We are super passionate about it. In the process of being passionate, emotions and passion can have a very thin line in between. And in the process of being passionate and emotions being playing a part of the passion, people can easily end up turning the conversation to be about themselves. And so someone like me, Fabish, Kowino, Ayo, when we end up being on the mic, all of us, and we normally disagree to the point of you could think we are going to never ever speak to each other again, we can easily hold a mic and hold a space, and we're going to bore everybody else, and everyone else is here to listen to the conversation beyond what Fabish is saying as his opinion or what DK is saying. So how Fabish umenielewa from your point, eh? Because me and you, we always go at each other's neck, but we always find a way back. Now, before I go to my submission of today, which will still hit Fabish kidogo, I wanted to echo, I think it was Isaac, who spoke about Isaac, and then Brian Osoro came and broke down something. Isaac started off by talking about finding a way to have funding and resources for the movement and what is being done here, and the dreams that we have for our country to be in a space where it is more accountable and more, easily manageable. Brian Osoro came and talked about cryptocurrency, and I believe, and anyone else can correct me if I'm wrong, what he was talking about is what would be called blockchain, if I'm not wrong, which is a certain system, a decentralized system that basically makes the principle of meritocracy in a situation like this, or accountability in a situation like this, become more reality. All right. Of course, there's a lot. I had Brian also mentioning about Mchanga, and I remember laughing a lot during the time when everybody was going after the lady who was managing the Mchanga account and saying she's done this and done that to the money. And because I have just a little bit of knowledge from the back end of people that got involved in Mchanga and how they created the system, I've been laughing a little bit to myself, knowing that people don't understand that some of those systems, such as Mchanga, or even a very new one that has been made by some of our friends called Mkura, are working on that blockchain system, which has made some of those funny Kikuyu call them Kehiberania, magical situations of things disappearing suddenly become less. All right. So I think a blockchain system will not only actually help in the funds, but though it's still very theoretical and can be turned practical for something as large as this, I think a blockchain would also sort of, that system would also help to sort of like vet some viable proposals that would be coming to this group here, this wananchi system that has been made. Well, for example, if let's say it's a site that is run even from a digital communications perspective, it has the support of social media handles that then again push on about this particular place where wananchi have come together. This is where they put all their resources together, and this is where you, as a young man who believes you have a civic education exercise or civic education drive that you would like to do, it is called Fabish na wananchi, you know, and you are targeting to go to all the counties, speaking specifically to farmers, especially in the counties where farming is eligible, and you want to talk to them about the agriculture bill, and this is what you are presenting, and this is a whole proposal you've prepared, and you present this to a group of persons, whether in a certain system kind of a way, and in that system is where this large number of people can be able to come and say, yes, we like Fabish's idea, we do not like Fabish's idea, we like this one, we do not like that one. And it kind of would help in a way to also demystify which ones of these things are legit or not. In the same process, if you decided, okay, Fabish and his idea actually works, we see where he wants to go. He wants to go to 9 counties. He's going to town halls. He has organized with some people on ground. He's going to about have X amount of people. He's going to go to these halls. He's going to need X amount of money, and this is the kind of budget, and it has actually been verified throughout that entire system because it was a proposal that you sent. Whatever fundings that you have received, then you remain accountable because there's a system that is being followed. You need to give them back. Basically, that's what it is, and let me just leave it at that. I think it's very technical. A lot of people who've had it will easily dismiss it off and say, this is some theoretical bullshit. We can't do all of this. We don't have time for all of this. But until we have time to do some things by the book, principle to principle, word to word, ink to ink, pen to pen, we're going to have a long way to go. Now, my submissions for today, wacha nikuja kwako Fabish kwanza. Fabish ni bro yangu mkubwa. Na wewe, among a few other people, have taught me what we're doing here. I've talked about Rusty, I've talked about you, I've talked about a few other people that have been doing this before. Some we've come and we've met together here. The one thing I champion to you, to myself, and to everyone, and I'm continuously learning it as part of the Home Run with PP family, is to appreciate a certain level of how do I put it? Because I don't want to seem like I'm not attacking you and I'm not attacking anyone, but we need to embrace a certain level of political maturity that kind of allows us the ability to appreciate and accommodate the difference in opinion. Having gone out the last 2 times that guys have said, let's go to the streets, whether it was we are going to the street to protest or the very last one where we were going to the streets to honor our fallen heroes. It has led me to a personal opinion that unless we get to a certain threshold of more persons out on the streets, the protest or being on the streets may not work. But then, you, Fabish, can have of a different opinion, and you've had it. We've talked about it before. I need to actually appreciate that you and I want to get to Nairobi town. But you are wanting to use a certain route, and I want to use a certain route. We both may not agree to use both routes, but we have to respect that we both want to get to the same destination. Now, let us not fight even before, and let us not demystify each other's roads by saying your road either is faulty than my road, or your road is going to take us longer than my road. Let us just appreciate, number one, the ability to agree to disagree, and then allow each other to hear through. For example, there are many times I've heard you and Rasji talk about Sijui Kamilisha group and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? We're trying to build vigilante groups and shit. But then there are more times I've listened to you and I've heard you speak about having small units that would help us, especially in situations where, for example, someone is being abducted and you're there watching it. And those ones you are calling in the villages and in the estates, you know, kikundi fulani almost like ni kama unaongelea nyumba kumi kind of a situation, kind of a thing, hivo, right? And before, I was very close-minded. I wouldn't allow myself to see what you're saying. But sometimes when I've allowed myself here, I'm like, okay, I definitely do not agree with going to Salimia MPs. I definitely do not agree with banning any of their houses and banning any of their cars. But I do kind of agree with what you're saying in as far as us being able to protect ourselves from these people who the government has clearly said, even we don't know them, they are not policemen. So since they are not policemen, you have clearly said they are goons and they are criminals. So those ones, I agree with you, Fabish, we're on the same page, that those ones you have to deal with them as the criminals they are. So now you see, if I've not allowed myself to have a little bit of an open mind, I wouldn't have had your opinion on that. And I'll still be completely closed on hell no. So similarly, when you hear me talk just a little bit about the difference of us, either my stand right now in going to the road, whether for protests or mandamano the day we are ready, and agreeing that we need to get to that day, hear me out first. See if there's a small part of mine that you could agree with. You and I, lastly, Fabish, were on the same boat talking about our dear friend telling us to give him the help, send him the money. He's not going to be accountable to anyone. I was among the people who were thinking, why are we beating Morara? I would hear people like Akina Kovido talking against him. I almost slapped him one time. We were actually having a coffee together. I almost hit the guy because I was thinking, you're an agent of destruction. You do not want us to go ahead. 3 weeks, a month later, we are here on the same page. Si wote tukiwa like, enyewe huyu jamaa ni kama kuna venye enyewe pia jamaa pia naona tuone kama sisi ni ile kitu, ni kama si ni matako yako kidogo. So my point is there that we have to allow each other that. Then my last opinion on today's conversations is on what I think is one of the best ways that we can change all of this. This whole conversations about these civic educations and where they need to go and nini. The reason mimi najaribu kujiuliza ni nani exactly tunani kupelekea hii conversation ni because Fabish on Sunday when we were for anyone who had me talk before, Sunday mimi nilienda tao mapema. Nilienda mapema huko 7:30. Of course urupaka kuko na nilitoka nikaenda Mzuruch kidogo cause mi wala mistadanganya mi labda ni mimi ni mselfish kidogo, but mimi ni muoga. Rosafi mimi ni muoga. I've never been really a mandamano person. That was the second time I was coming out like and I was very glad that I could be able to do it because job yangu ilikuwa imeniallow ningeweza kufanya hivyo. I remember one of the things nilisikia wasee wakiulizana in the process nikitembea nikirudi hivyo kwa mat. Kuna place nilienda kupita and by then commotions zilikuwa zimeanza ile pande nyingine ya tao. I remember nilisikia sio wameulizana a hoka place hapo hivyo Kimathi Street kuna msi anakuaga na magazeti mahali uza magazeti hapo nje na sometimes usimama I think hapo hivyo Kimathi Street or somewhere usimama hapo hivyo kusoma hizo gazeti. So when I was passing by hapo mse mmoja akaulizana kwa nini aje nini inaendelea huko. Nikasikia mwingine amerespond and I think ni the vendor that owner gazeti. Sini jenzi sini kara wanakimbishana na jenzi zile mambo zao. It kind of hurt me slightly because I was like, everything that every person is shouting about in Uhuru Park or on space or wherever, whether they're 18 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, is for all of us. It's not a Gen Z thing. So do you mean to tell me there's still some people, even in this our Nairobi, who believe this is a Gen Z thing? Who believe this is a certain fight of a certain group of people against the government? If we're still there, that it means we have a lot of freaking work to do. Because even in that mtaa, in Shags, when I go there, most likely that is the same conversation those people have. Kwanza ukienda kule kwetu Murema in Kikuyu, they would say, Katari anakema natengania na forithi kori ya Nairobi. Sini vijana wanakimbizana kule Nairobi na polisi. Bado kuna job hapo, bro. Mi bado ninaona kuna job hapo. And until that day, Fabish tutaweza kuget ule mama mwenye sasa anaitishwa sijui ni 7,000 ama ni 10,000 sababu linda mama iliondolewa. Wote watokea kwa rodi ka venye Human alikuwa anasema bra kando, wacha melons ziongee. Until ile siku wale wazee wote na mama wazee wote na wakungwa wote wenye even the younger ones who are having to use dialysis 9,500 per session, 19,000 per week for dialysis, until the day even that old guy seated at home who's limaing mahindi and mboga, and very soon is going to start being asked for a freaking degree just so that they can be a farmer. Until they all become a part of this thing and it evolves and moves beyond being called vita ya vijana na gava, vita ya Gen Z na gava. Na appreciate kwenye Isaac ametoka na kusema Gen Z li change conversation. I agree. But Gen Z walikuwa tu ile kibiriti. Wao walikuwa kibiriti, waliwasha moto ndio hiyo moto kaiende. Sasa moto itaendelezwa bado ni zile vibiriti kuwashwa ama itaendelezwa na kila mtu kuongeza kuni from direction yake, kila mtu anaweka kuni zake. Have a lovely night watu wangu. Talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm still on my break. I hope to come back off my break of spaces by the end of the month. Asante Fabish, have a lovely night. Hey, sisikii Fabish. Aki I hope siko najiongelesha. Mungu wangu.
Hey.